So, and the question is it worth it? It's not worth it, my dear. It's not. It's evil. It's destructive. It's calling wrath upon yourself. Okay? So we should be mindful. Now, what is the consequence? That's the last stage. What is the consequence of this act? What? What does desperation does to us? That's the question. Before you accept a thing and you want to walk upon that thing, the first question to ask yourself, what do I gain from this? Those that has plowed the same road I'm about to take today, the same decision I'm about to make today, the same journey I'm about to go on today. What has happened to them? Did it end well? And if it is no, why not stop? Stop. This was what happened to Saul. Saul didn't stop. Desperation lead him to death. Lead him to the loss of the kingdom, his family, none of his heir. Even his innocent, because God became angry. After his son and his daughter must have helped David sneak him out of the palace, David ran away, still far from the kingdom, leaving him to himself. Did he stop? No, he kept on chasing. He had an eye on David. As far as the young man traveled, Saul was after him. That's the spirit of desperation that leads you. That's the crazy. That's been crazy, You're no longer thinking straight. That's been foolish. Like the definition gave me, the definition I got from the dictionary about a fool. A fool is a person not having a right judgment, having a wrong judgment of a thing, not thinking straight. So you allow foolishness, selfish will, unnecessary will, desires, aim to blindfold the beautiful reasoning, the beautiful heart God has given to us. He made us well. He made us to love. He gave us the air to inhabit and to be happy. But selfishness, carelessness, self-will, pursuit, desires, positions has led us to destruction. Of the painful part, honestly speaking, reading about Paul, what I find even more painful to me, my personal take, was the children. The father brought this curse because it follows not just you. When you became more desperate and wicked, the same way your punishment will be so high and so fierce before God. Your recompense, your dividends, it could affect. The same way you think you can be so difficult in doing that evil, the same way your judgment will follow. Look at what the selfish act, the foolish act of Saul did. And look at David, a good man. Now let's look at the two quickly to conclude. The foolishness of Saul cost him the life of his son, Jonathan. Was the daughter happy? Did she ever remarry? David ran. The girl didn't even have an heir. She didn't marry at the end of the day. She didn't remarry and she had no child for David. So you and I know what that means for that young lady. What about Jonathan? Saul lost virtually everything. His life, the kingdom. Didn't David eventually become the king? Sometimes, do you know your wickedness could make God just to prove a point to you and to confirm his words? Yea, he said, the evil that men plan to the righteous, the Lord turned it for the good of that righteous man. Is it not what happened to David? David eventually became the king, and God gave him rest because David was loved. Do you know what? I tell you one secret today. You will never gain any headway. You will not succeed. No matter the plan, the intelligence you want to apply, the plot, the chariot you are going to carry, that's the group of conspirators, everything will prove abortive in as much as the person in question is innocent. And quickly with God, turn that position, that your desire, he will turn it for good for such one. I tell you this day. So you see, there is no need for that. Even when David, a good person is always a good person. When David had the opportunity to kill Saul, while he chased him, it was a long battle. This is what desperation does. Now Saul was not concerned. And he wasn't even enjoying his kingdom at this time, because you are chasing just one man. The time you should have been there. In fact, enjoying your kingdom, enjoying what God has given to you. And do you know David was part of God's fulfillment for that your kingdom? To give you peace, because Saul was an ordained king. Even David loved him. That was why the young man was ready to give his life for him. And the thing is, you see why I say this thing brings foolishness, blindfolding your eyes, making you a fool, not giving a right judgment, not thinking aright. David was indeed the path of peace God wanted to give to Saul to enjoy his kingdom. Saul would have ruled, reigned in his time, and I guess even his son. Because David was still very young if you had to compare the age of David and that of Saul. So do you see why I say it's a demon that comes to kill you? You think it's the other person. No, it's not your rival. And you should be more worried. You should be more careful if that rival is truly innocent about any accusation, about anything you want to kind of paint him to be. It's interesting, my dear. The essence of this is for you and I to stay content, to be good, to have contentment with what we have. And you see, you can never be contented in this world. Don't think contentment is for poor people. No. When they say this content, you think the rich has more problem. The highly placed has more problem of contentment. Contentions, I mean to say. Excuse me. Rather than the poor. After all, the economy said human want is unlimited. The more you get, you want to get. Did you see why the Bible said, godliness with contentment? What a great gain. Wow. He didn't bring contentment first. Listen, godliness and contentment. What a great gain. So I don't care the level of human knowledge you must have gotten or attained by way of learning. I don't care. If there is no godliness, you are going to be a victim of jealousy and envy, whether you like it or not. Because the only antidote for jealousy and envy is what? Godliness, true godliness. It is what it is. There's no doubt about it. There's no disputing about this. It's a fact. Yes. He died. And I guess he didn't enjoy his place. By himself, he gave himself the stress of chasing an innocent person. And at the end of the day, that same person became that same thing you fought against. What a height of foolishness. Now, another thing is, when you fight a godly person, you are sure to waste your time. Note that it is just the beginning of your crisis, the beginning of your failures, the beginning of your sorrow, not the person. Did you get that? Lovelies, it's a thing to watch upon. It's a thing to fight. Wherever you find this, is it happening to you? Do you perceive it happening to someone close to you? A family member? A friend? Try and help them get out of this. Don't be patika. Don't help them. Because whatever happens to them will eventually happen to you. That is just that. I want to end this by still pointing quickly. Though we might not really, I think that of Solomon, the son of David, had this as well. He was a victim of this. When Solomon became, after God has blessed him, he is the wisest man in the whole world. And the richest, because this is what God has pronounced on him. That's the blessing he has pronounced on him. That there will be none richer than you in your time and even the time to come. Yes, and it's so today. Nobody on the planet Earth has ever married 700 wives. Who are you? It's not done with 300 concubines. When did you hear that? It's not possible. Okay? That grace has passed. But look at Solomon. with all his renowned wisdom, divine. You see, sin, wickedness, God detests it. And when he leaves you, you're in problem. If you don't have God in you, don't think when you have the money, when you have the name, when you have the material thing, they are good. They are defense. The Bible said money is a defend, wisdom is a defend. But wisdom superseded wealth. You need wisdom. It is even through the wisdom you can get the money. In depth. You understand? And when you've gotten wisdom, you truly need understanding. Understanding becomes the will. The will. Should I say the GPS that helps you to go about the way of wisdom. Wisdom helps you to understand, to get a thing, to note a thing, have knowledge of a thing, but you need understanding to navigate around that thing, to process that. In fact, that is the solution. I don't know the best word. Please help me out there. All right. Sometimes this is deep. I just have a lot in my head I want to say at a time. Honestly speaking, from the beginning of this topic, I've been trying as much as I can to pick my words, okay? Because the topic is so vast that you have a lot to say, you have a lot of example to cite, but people cannot just, you don't just engage people to just sit and be listening and all that, just try to want to, kind of compress it and try to compress it, make it to be as little as it can be. So even if it is just a piece you can get, even if it is just one information on one of the videos, but at least you will learn something. So when you hear envy and jealousy, don't think it's too far. Don't think it is for them and not for us. Oh no, because we laugh. No, it's for everybody, including myself. So I put myself, my body, under check and under subjection. This might help. You know when to say, no, I know this route I'm flying, this way I'm going, this decision I'm taking, oh, it will lead me to danger. Oh, this I'm trying to do right now. Am I doing the right thing? Is it gonna hurt someone? Do I really need to stop? So we have to be aware of everything we are doing. And to note that what is good for A is good for B. And above all, stay sincere. You cannot love. You cannot love when you are not truly sincere. And sincerity comes with the help of the Spirit of God, godliness. I bet you, no matter how good, humanly speaking, you can be, without God, you can never be honest or sincere. It comes to a time you would be so hardened, compromise will lead you to hardness. And when it involves you, yourself, or the people that you love, you are going to compromise. So that is the essence of this video. More to be said, but I have to stop here. Like I was saying before, sorry. Like I said, I have a lot to say. I want to point something at Solomon. Solomon the wisest. What happened to him? Why I'm using this example of Solomon to conclude this topic is because Solomon is the wisest man. But yet, when this demon actually came, he was disobedient now to God and marrying a lot of wives, building other gods, their gods for them, And God was angry. And dear Solomon, have a faithful, intelligent servant. You see, it is God that giveth gift. And he knew that the young man, the guy is intelligent. And the Lord said to him, Solomon, for this you've done, I'm going to take part, not even all. That's how loving. Because God knows also. It doesn't take God anything to say, Solomon, I will destroy you today, or I will take everything from you. But we should be careful when God is showing us his mercy and as such, testing us. Because the Bible said, who can stand the wrath of God? He's patient. Don't think you are right. Don't think you are wise. He's just being patient. You know, when you have the power to kill somebody, you have the power to destroy a thing. Why would you worry about it? Even if the thing has to want to throw himself up and down. You're just, though, you don't have the time going, when you are ready, you just fling it one place. You know? So I believe God wanted to check him to see whether he's still working with his senses. But that demon was there. You see what devil does? To disgrace. Devil is there to disgrace you, not the person you're planning to disgrace. To expose you, to bring you down. The person is not your threat. That your perceived rival is not your problem at all. The devil just wants to expose us, to disgrace us, to put us far away from what God has already destined every one of us to be, okay? But by way of your own carelessness, you've not been able to identify what God has in place for you. And that's why you easily get envied by someone. The person doesn't have all. You too, you are unique. You can come up with something. But God doesn't by way of favor, expose or bring to kind of open your eyes to understand who you really is or what he has put before you. When you are not sincere, when you are not truthful, when you don't please him, he has no business with you. Yes, that's the issue. It's not a thing for you to look at somebody as your problem. No. Now, when Jeroboam, God said to Solomon, I'll give him part of the kingdom. What did Solomon did? He didn't even think of saying, oh God, I'm sorry. No, he has not seen himself as a God. You see, he wants to fight God. What he start doing immediately is to kill Jeroboam. What has Jeroboam done to him, a faithful servant? Just because his name was mentioned to him by God, what he's about to, he became desperate to kill Jeroboam. And like his father did to Saul by fleeing away for the safety of his life, that was the same thing. That was the same thing Jeroboam did. The same way Saul died a sinner, without repentance, losing everything, same happened to Solomon. Okay? It happened to Solomon. So you can see it could happen to any one of us. If you claim to be so wise, if you claim to be so learned, if you think you've got the power in you, it's not you. It is your sincerity that attracts God to you. That makes you become righteous before his eyes. And like he said, his eyes is upon the righteous every day. And his anger upon the wicked every day. So you see, it is not you. It is God. Okay? So, at this juncture, I want to conclude by saying that envy is never a thing to be accepted. Practice. You have to fight it because it could destroy you and all that is yours. That same position could be taken away from you. You destroy the life of your innocent ones. Yes, like Saul. Yes, like Solomon. Yes, it can happen to you and I. So when the devil comes to cheat us, if not for any other thing, if your life is not so important to you anymore, think about those around you. If you were to be the Saul of today and having this envy, jealousy, why not consider Jonathan? Why not consider Micah? If truly you love them. With that being said, lovelies, I love you all, and the essence of these videos is to make you and I better people, standing out for what is good, portraying out there for what is good, and standing against what is evil. Yes, stand against it. If it takes you to stand alone, because the Bible said, one with God is majority. And watch how your enemies are going to be surrounded. Okay? You are beautiful. You are special. You are blessed. And you can make a difference. Finally, bring your ears closer. You have a place in the earth to write your name in the sound. You will not be forgotten. I love you all.